Okay, we're live.
Hello, Internet. The summer is coming to a close. August is the Sunday of the summer, I guess you can say. And this is episode XXX of your favorite tech podcast, inThirty. I guess I'm a little depressed by the end of the summer. It is very nice outside in New Jersey, though. Very cool evenings and kind of like perfectly temperate days. Anyway, we're going to set you up to understand what Apple will be announcing on September 9th. Apparently, there's a big white sheath over something out there in California. And to discuss it with me, as always, is Haim Cohen of HaimTime.com
Hello.
and Paul N. Shapiro of PaulNShapiro.com, which currently forwards to what now?
Searchwilderness.com.
Searchwilderness.com. Look, it's a fine domain name. I have trouble remembering it because I confuse it with Theme Forest in my head and the rest of it. So I will get it.
Yeah.
You need to like put it on the rim of your glasses or something so I see it backwards. No, right.
We'll work on that. On that.
Okay, so at the top of the show, I should say that there was a lightning deal on the Nexus 7 tablet. Newegg was good enough to get it to me, lickety split. I've been using it a lot for the purpose of just mostly learning about Android. The tablet itself doesn't offer me much beyond what I already have. In fact, it's extraneous. It's purely a learning device. I wanted to give our listeners and Haim a heads up that I've been doing so. Haim, you have any tips? I'm not going to review it.
I've had a good day so far today. So are you gonna ruin my day?
I'm not. I want to before I and I'm not going to do it on this episode. I just want to give you a heads up that the Nexus 7 is in the rotation. That I have done. I have casted my screen to Chromecasts, and that works very well. The sound and the video works. But you tell me, give me some pointers.
Well, I would say here's my big issue. My Nexus 7 has just last week was retired. I had a pre-production Nexus 7 given to me at Google I/O, so that's before the 2012, which they had a trim issue. So at this point, the solid-state memory is shot. That everything is so abysmally slow that I had to retire it, pour a beer out for it, everything else.
I'm not even sure that can happen, to be honest with you. But
to be honest, here's the thing. I would always end up gravitating towards my iPad, not because it was slow or my Nexus 5. It's because the 7-inch screen size to me, and I know that I'm strange here, is not the size I want. I have a 5-inch on my phone and I have a 10-inch on my iPad.
So the answer is that you have no hints to make my transition into the Android world any easier. Is that right?
Well, okay, you want the hints. The best thing to do is embrace the widgets, embrace the things that Android offers that the iPad doesn't.
What's your widgets look like? What type of widgets do you have on your phone?
Well, right now I have something when the screen is locked. I have my lock widgets that tell me how many emails, how many text messages, the flashlight. Then when you go in, I have Google Now swiping to the left. You have to embrace Google Now, feed it as much information as you can. I have, what else? I have some stock widget. I have the calendar right there that I can see and scroll nearby. But I guess
OK Google.
I can say OK Google.
And now do it.
To be honest, when I say OK Google, a lot of things turn on.
All right, those are some reasonable tips. Honestly, I will give a little hint to my eventual review of Android in general, but they need to put a button on the front of the devices because to wake it up, it takes two hands, and it's just.
What do you mean?
It's absurd. It's absurd. If it's on the table, it takes two hands to wake it up. I mean, I can't get over that. I mean, if you want to check the time with it, you have to, and it's on the table, you have to put one hand on the left side of it because the button on the right side requires so much force. It's.
Well, is it charged? Well, if you can have a setting that if it's charging to turn on something called Daydream, that will either be a screensaver or whatever it is.
If when you're walking by an iPad and you want to kind of see your notifications, you just press the home button and there it is. The screen comes on. And put the button on the front of the devices. There's no reason why. And then there's 3 little permanent buttons that just waste a portion of the already small screen. I just don't get it. I guess I'm going into my review a little earlier, but Okay, I'm going to censor myself, and we're going to center ourselves and get back to the rumors that are at hand. Because how many days away is September 9th time? I mean, it's close.
Well, the reason we want to do this now, and Justin mentioned it, is I don't think we're going to be having an episode next week, but we want to promote. We want to cover the announcement after, but we have a special guest in, I guess, 2 weeks from now. It's somebody from the DERP Initiative, which will, since we don't know much about it, we're going to have them explain it to you. All we know is some sort of social metric between the news aggregating sites.
That sounds like that'll be a cool show, and we're going to have a special guest from the Asian continent, hopefully, who's an Apple expert of sorts, to do a recap with us, in addition maybe to our buddy from Alabama. But this episode is becoming doing too much housekeeping. I think our listeners more or less know what the potential announcements will be on September 9th. I think each of us should put our cards on the table, make our predictions, and then we will do a cleanup later in the day on September 9th and see who had the best handle on Mr. Cook's enterprise over there in California.
So who followed EvLeaks and MacRumor?
Well, okay, fair enough. That is part of it, because I don't think any of us are out there, hitting the streets or hopping a flight to Foxconn's headquarters.
Well, let's start. Justin, do you buy one right now? Do you buy one?
Okay, so yes, so yes, I will. The earliest I can get one, I will get one. I think.
Sans jailbreak, because you didn't get iOS 7 jailbroken.
No, I'm over my jailbreak. I'm kind of over seeing the day and date in my status bar and having 5 icons at the bottom of my dock, which could happen anyway, depending on the resolution and the rest of it for the screen. But yes, I will get one as soon as possible. I'm committed to iOS 8. So yes, they have my money. That's it. I will get one. And if an iWatch comes out, yes, I will replace my Fitbit Force as soon as possible. Only because the Force is actually a fine device, but I think the Force is a really, really good device. Actually, better than fine. I think it's an 8.5 out of 10. We can discuss that in another show.
And Paul, do you buy one?
I don't know.
Okay.
That's a yes.
Went back and forth on. No, I don't know. I went back and forth on Android last time for my last phone. I still sort of wish I got an Android device now, so I don't know. I'm on the fence.
You always buy the Moto G for whatever, $180.
This is not worth getting a crappy Android phone.
I think that you say crappy, and we have to agree on that. It's just underpowered. It's not that it's crappy. It'll run whatever you want.
The Nexus 5 is crappy.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's.
You've been listening too much tinfoil hattie next to you. We've been complaining.
I use it.
Yeah, but after someone who doesn't, not you, but the person next to you who doesn't back up their phone,
that's
goes out of their way.
My brother has a the Galaxy S5, and it's beautiful. It's not crap at all.
I think it is. It's interesting. I think the Galaxy S5 is a total piece of crap. It is just so plasticky, and I've seen people with the cover with.
Nothing's going to have the design of an iPhone.
HTC One M8. I'm telling you.
Okay. Anyway, I predict that Paul will get an iPhone 6.
I do too.
We're putting our cards on the table. Someone
why? I need to hear why.
I don't want to go too much into it because I don't want the.
No. The idea if he let's do it this way. Let's caveat it. If Paul buys a phone within the next 365 days, it will be an iPhone 6.
I'll tell you this: the only thing where iOS seems to be lagging is they need to get into the idea that people use the phone instead of in their car instead of the built-in navigation system. They need to just pay a little bit more attention to that, and CarPlay is not doing it. It's not being adopted fast enough. Okay, that being said, I'm going to get one and an iWatch. Paul maybe will, and I think is it possible that you'll flip or no?
Probably not.
Okay, all right. So we've got our personal.
I may buy. I've been waiting for another 10-inch tablet. So if Google doesn't put out a Nexus 10 before my iPad breaks, I may buy another iPad.
Okay, the iPad Air is superior now to any Android device, and it will remain superior to any Android device into the foreseeable future. I mean, that's how it is. So if you want a 10-inch tablet, wait for the iPad Air 2 with Touch ID, and I think that you will be more than happy that you've done that. But we have to get to the topic of the show because this show is becoming we need to recenter, as I said earlier. Okay, iPhone 6 is coming. We can all agree on that. 4.7-inch screen, 5.5-inch screen. I think that we can agree on that. But are they going to be announced simultaneously? Are they going to be released on September 10th? Probably not. Are they going to be released at the same time? Are they going to warn us that they're in short supply? Paul, where do you come down on those two? On those couple of things?
Can I just say that I'm so angry at Apple for doing the bigger screen?
Really?
I was about to say that.
That's okay. Go ahead.
They're hypocrites, like flat out hypocrites on the smaller screen thing. What happened to it being the perfect size for your hand?
Well, okay. They could tell us that people's hands have increased in size. They could tell us that this is what they're going to say. They're going to say that because they effectively got rid of the bezel all around it, that it has the curved sides, that there's almost no it's like an infinity pool for your content. That's how they took care of it. And the other thing is, they historically, just like when they made the iPad Mini, it's a huge company. There are lots of different opinions in it. One opinion rises, then another falls, and then another rises, so that happens. And I think they sometimes do it because the consumer doesn't care about what they said 6 months ago or a year and a half ago. They do it to throw off their competitors. So what they say, I think sometimes you can just reverse it. That's been their history. So maybe you can pin down. You can take a soundbite of Johnny Ive saying that the iPhone 5 fits perfectly in the hand from one of his great videos and say that he's a hypocrite, but that doesn't mean a whole lot. But you're right. So you're when you see it, and here's my prediction: when you get the 4.7-inch one in your hand, you're gonna say, oh, you know what? All along, this iPhone 5, it was all wrong. This is the right way to go. That's what you're gonna say, Paul, and you're gonna say, oh.
Well, look, I've been saying that for years. Bigger is always better. I've been saying that if you have to pay for a data plan, find the biggest screen that you can that will move comfortably with you. So there are a lot of people that will have a flip phone and an iPad Air. But if you can't do that, because I can't fit an iPad Air in my pocket, but I can fit whatever the biggest size is, the 5.5-inch Note 3. I wouldn't be opposed to it because it's a huge screen, a lot of real estate that you can work with.
Nah, that's an absurd size. I'm not pro phablet whatsoever.
So I'm all for the bigger size, but I can see that a lot of people are going to be turned off by this. So I say I would have dropped the 4.7 and kept the 4 and go 4 or 5.5.
Okay, I think.
Hello.
For our listeners, Paul just took his MacBook Pro and put it up to the side of his head.
So let's ask Paul, how many times are you on the phone?
That would be a funny GIF.
I don't understand, but how many people actually use the phone as the phone? People use the phone in their car using Bluetooth.
No, I am
at the office.
I am on the phone quite a lot. I use my headphones. I use Bluetooth in the car. I put the phone up to my face. I probably use speakerphone when it's on my desk the most, frankly. But that being said, what you're saying, Han, the Nexus 7 does fit in my pants pockets, technically.
Yes.
And I could still have an iPhone and have Wi-Fi tethering on all the time. And I think that's one thing that they're going to add in iOS 8, kind of, so that maybe an iPad can even have on-the-fly tethering. But the idea that bigger is better is not true, because one-handed use is still really important. That's why I'm probably gonna have to touch the device before I make the choice between the screen sizes, is what it comes down to, because the one-handed use trumps everything else, frankly, and being able to do it all with your thumb is really important. So
but you can do it all with your voice. You can just say, "Okay, Google, send a text message to whatever," and speak the message, or you access the messaging and then you can talk to it, and it is pretty good.
It works, and on the Nexus 7, for instance, the voice to text for Google search has been eerily accurate. I mean, I have been speaking to it at a rushed pace, kind of slurring my words purposely just to kind of throw it off, and it gets it as often. I would say, I don't know what percentage it is, but as often as almost a human being would. I think my little brother, when I'm talking to him on the phone, doesn't understand me more than Google does. Anyway, when will these things come out? 4.7, 5.5. They're coming out simultaneously. Are there going to be caveats from Tim Cook right off the bat?
6 weeks? What is it? 6 weeks? I mean, it's like clockwork. They announce it. They announce it September 9th, and they say October 1st. I mean, it's whatever the FCC filing date is, the smallest window.
Okay, so maybe that is the case, but I'm saying, will they come out simultaneously?
Yeah, why not? I don't think there'll be a problem with it.
Okay.
They're going to make it difficult.
What about our iWatch? Is the iWatch coming out?
No, we're not there yet. Hold on. Yes, but we're not there yet. But, I mean, they've effectively killed the whole waiting in line. I don't think they want people to wait in line, but like with the 5S, everyone ordered at night. They got their waiting ticket, and then they got it the next day. I haven't heard too many people like, I have to camp out.
Okay, this is a supply chain thing, but I mean, I don't know that they're going to be able to. It strikes me that there's going to be some issue, frankly, with the rollout. This is not going to be super smooth, and you add the iWatch into that, I think it's going to be more complicated than in the past. Do I think that they're going to come out simultaneously? Yes. I think though that this is where the rumors haven't kind of filled in the gaps. It's about where does the iPhone 5C go? Does the iPhone 5 stick around? Are there going to be a 4-inch, a 4.7-inch, and a 5.5-inch phone out 5S, at the same time?
5S, 6, and 6 big, if you want to call it that. I don't know.
It seems like if you follow the past pattern, that's the easy call. I think that they're going to have to shake things up a little bit. Is the 5S going to stay around? Yeah. But there's got to be some other differentiation. I think that this might be the first time that we see something where the $200 price does not buy you the best tier of the phone with the lowest storage. I think they're going to tweak that a little bit. So I think that's my prediction. That's going to be different. That there will still be a $200 device, but that's not going to get you the best phone that you can get with the lowest storage.
Well, so remember, a lot of people now are subsidizing the phones themselves. They're either on T-Mobile or any of these value plans from AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint. They're saying you're paying $25 a month. So the $199 may be there as the quote-unquote down payment, but that may be the 4.7-inch screen, and the 5.5 may start at $299. It's a way for Apple to increase the profit margin up front.
I think that's a good point, Hein. I think that those bring your own phone plans or the pay as you go for the phone rather than the straight subsidy is a possibility. Paul, where do you weigh in on this? Are we going to see the same pricing structure with the 5C versus the 5S, or are they going to shake it up a little bit? Paul? Oh, Paul. We lost Paul there. So the question, then we can go to another question along the same vein. Is it going to be 16, 32, 64 gigabytes, or are they going to bump up the top model tier phone with 32 gigabytes and make you and throw the $300 price?
I have a curveball here. I think it goes 16, 64, 128.
I mean, I don't.
32, 128. I think they cut out a middle so they can have a premium on the high end, because you're either good with 16 or you're not, and if you're not good with 32 or 6, or you're not good with 32 either.
I think
16's too small.
I think, Hein, that's a possibility, but I think that goes back to the supply chain issue, and the guys at Apple, they probably have multiple teams that all they do is negotiate NAND pricing all the time. They have like their own little stock market for it. I don't think they're going to do that also from like a complexity standpoint. I do think, like consumer-facing complexity, I do think that they might make it so that the top tier phone doesn't come in the lowest. That does not include 16 gigabytes of storage. And Paul, what we were talking about earlier is the pricing structure. Is it going to stay the same as past years?
I think it's going to be more expensive.
Paul, I mean, there's two types of camps. The people that 16 doesn't fit, like you, and potentially me. But then again, I have unlimited streaming, or unlimited data. I can just stream this all day long, and I don't really care. So as long as the apps fit, I'm good. And I don't run that many apps. So the two camps are the people who just want some apps and don't download that much, and then the people that really need a lot, and they're not necessarily willing to pay, but they're going to have to.
Okay, are all of these phones going to are they going to have diamond screens? I mean, what's the deal with the screens?
I don't think so. I think they pretty much debunked that it's going to be sapphire-like, but not sapphire.
Paul? Did we lose Paul again?
Yes.
Paul, you're on your. Okay. Are we getting sapphire screens? What are we doing?
I have no idea. I hope it's durable.
Well, it's not going to fall apart the first time you put it to your ear, unless your ear is made of diamond, I guess. But I mean, the rumor mills certainly have made a big deal about what's going on with the factory in Arizona and the lot. I mean, is this something that Apple's marketing team can even convey to people? Does it matter at that level? Okay, if the bezel is curved as it is, where it kind of flows into what may or may not be a chamfered edge, they're going to have to use new material tech to keep that strong. So I think it's going to have, it might not just be sheer sapphire, but it's going to have a screen technology where they can safely say this is a strong thing. You can rub it with sandpaper and it's going to be okay.
Well, look, you can listen to Marco and John argue about this ad nauseum. They referenced a Marcus Brownlee review that he did of what he thought from some rumor of what the screen was. And everyone came to the conclusion that it's probably not going to be sapphire, but it's going to be different, and it's going to be not as strong, but stronger than what it is now.
Okay, so are we going to get those curved edges that have leaked a little bit?
Who cares?
The curved edges are huge. It will look the most like the first iPhone of any iPhone to date, and that was still my favorite. That was still the one that I think was the most essential phone device that you could put in your hand. And yeah, if you pick it up, it still feels that way. So this one I think is going back to that, and it will have the curved edges. Okay, so we've handled some of the rumors. Haim, you want to weigh in here on the NFC issue?
Well, so just recently came out with the iPhone 6 will probably have NFC. And for years I've been saying this will be the next big technology, and unfortunately it takes Apple to make it big. But I have a feeling they have to put it in for mobile payments and not just for ease of use or sharing pictures or whatever else. We learned that Bluetooth and other stuff, Wi-Fi sharing is better. But the mobile payments, I'm a huge proponent of mobile payments. And if it's going to take anybody, it's going to be Apple to tell the credit card, ISIS, which is the other one, or the carriers to say, you can't, if you don't back us, you don't get the iPhone. And Apple will I have a feeling, will dominate this mobile payment. They will be the ones that put it on the map.
All right, Paul, you want to talk about hypocrisy again? Throw that in here.
I was just thinking that.
Well,
I don't know. I feel like throwing in NFC later in the game is Apple being a hypocrite again. They should have put it in a long time ago, and then they sort of made the decision not to. Sort of, they weren't a proponent of it. They were like, it's all Bluetooth 4.0 or whatever, and we don't need no NFC.
Justin, how does Passbook work? I mean, how does it work? Does it work?
Yeah, it works, and they just if they use it, they use a QR code and it's scanned optically. But the point here is that they're going to move into mobile payments. At some point, they're going to do it. They're going to leverage the huge database of credit cards that they've had, their history of not having any huge leaks of customer financial data, et cetera, et cetera. NFC is an afterthought. I think that is the Trojan horse element of it, because I don't think that they're going to be telling people to rub their phones together. Maybe they will. I still don't think so. I don't think
it's going to. No, they're not going to.
I bet you that would be locked down. I bet you they'll lock down certain.
No.
So the point is, though, that it is the Trojan horse, because they use this technology that is kind of I still stand by it being a throwaway, because I think that using the internet to do verification is better, but that this is how they get into mobile payments, which is still huge.
I have a feeling they're going to create a Passbook-like app where you're going to have to use your Touch ID to authenticate yourself, and all these things. Remember, chip and pin comes out in July, So July 2015. So all credit cards are mandated to have this chip and pin system. So if you've ever been to London, you have to swipe your card. They do something with your card, but you have to put a pin in. I have a feeling the NFC is going to bypass. That's all it's going to do. It's going to bypass that. You have to get new terminals anyway. So if you just put these new terminals with the NFC technology, then you can swipe. Here's the thing: I don't want to have to buy iTunes gift cards to pay for my coffee. But that's what it sounds like, and I know that's not the Apple implementation, but that sounds sort of a layman's idea.
I think that if NFC is in the device, it might not even make its way into the presentation. It might only be in the spec sheets when it says that it has, GLONASS or whatever the Russian type of GPS is, and AGPS, and a million different radios that are in the thing, and the barometric pressure sensor, which I think there's a good chance it's going to have too. That's where it will make it in. I don't think that Phil Schiller is going to say that there's NFC in the device. I don't think that.
I could see that happening.
Maybe Eddie Q will mention NFC for like a second, but okay. So let's just talk more broadly. Considering HealthBook, is this phone going to have tons more sensors in it?
Okay, sure.
I'm going to say yes to that. I think it's going. Yes, okay, we can get that out of the way. Is it going to have? Are new headphones going to come along with it? Is this new reversible charging cable going to come? Is it going to require a bigger charging brick than in the past? Is it going to be 2 amps instead of 1 amp? Stuff like that. I mean, those are little changes, but Apple sells so many of these things. It's really a huge change in a way.
So yes, I think that they're gonna. I don't know. No. I don't see the reverse cable coming this time around. I don't think that spec is finalized yet. I think we go one more year, but because it doesn't affect the Lightning portion of it, it affects the other one. So they can just change it later on when they say they have it. I think we pretty much nailed down the design. Just the big questions are: what's the screen? Is it going to have NFC? What radios is it going to have? And the screen size. I think those are the big things.
And whether or not we're going to get them on the day it comes out. Where are we on time, Hein? It sounds
we got to finish. We're at 27.
We're at 27 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So the watch. So
not happening. Not happening.
I think that there is going to be a watch announcement on September 9th alongside these new iPhones. And it is going to, and it's not going to be the big deal that everyone thought it was. That's what I think.
I think it's going to be in a glass case like the Mac Pro was last year, where we see something but we don't see it.
A second ago, you said that it wasn't going to come out at all.
No, it's not going to come out on the 9th. I mean, that's for sure.
I say there's going to be an announcement regarding it on the 9th.
I don't think that the watch area is ready yet, or Apple's ready yet. I think they have at least 6 months to go. I'm sure they want to see what the hyped Moto G watch is going to look like. And I'll tell you something about the Moto G watch that'll make you not buy it. If you look at the bottom, the 6 o'clock position, from 5 to 7 position, you only see black because it's not a full dial. And apparently there's some technological challenge to make that work.
I think I'm going to have Joshua Topolsky, or did he leave The Verge now? He's at CNBC or something. Someone's going to have to cover that in a little more detail for me to understand it, I think.
Look at a Moto G watch. Look at the position between 5 and 7. It's a black bar, and it's not LCD, so now you will never be able to unsee it, and now you think that it's a piece of crap.
It's okay, because of the screen, the technology that's required to make the circular screen?
Yeah.
Okay, Apple will fix that, or it won't be a circle, or something like that.
Of course. So I'm saying you may see something. They may talk about it. We want to get into wearables, or the famous Tim Cook line. 2014 will be our year for wearables. Just you wait.
Okay, so here's the big one. Paul, you have to weigh in here too. I say that there's going to be a watch announcement alongside the phones. Haim says no. Paul, where do you come down on this?
I think there's going to be a watch announcement.
All right, Haim. If you're right, Haim, then you showed two of us up. Okay.
Are we seeing new iMacs and new MacBooks?
It's going to be a busy day. I don't think that they're going to have room for that. I'm trying to get this fly off of me. All right, let's end it here because I think everyone can tell that we're so excited to get to September 9th that we can barely contain ourselves. This has been episode 155 supposedly of inThirty. Thank you for listening, and we will see you after September 9th and we'll talk about derps and Imgurs and things as well.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye.